Hi everybody, I'm back for another video. I had a request from a few people to compare the Chic Sparrow Earl Grey, one of the new Tea House collection leathers, to the Midori leather, since I had mentioned how thin it was. And then when I was playing with it and I pulled out some of my Midoris, I noticed it was a good kind of a comparison for it was the camel leather. Now I have two sets of camels. These were my first Midori, or actually Travelers Company camels. These are the ones that were released in early 2016, the re-release of the 5th year anniversary camel. And then I have this one, which is the Ace Hotel camel, which is, I think, a little over a year old. I think they have a blue passport now for the Ace Hotel Traveler's Notebook. But I wanted to show you the difference. Now this is my passport notebook that I'm currently in, and this one I have used the most. You can see it is very well loved, and both of these came as light as this one here, my new one from the Ace Hotel. Here is my standard. And one of the reasons why this is darker is I have conditioned it, but I've been using it much more. This was my everyday carry for quite a long time, and I have, since One Book July has finished, I have moved everything back into this because my brown is at Baumkuchen having some stuff done to it. So you'll see an unboxing of that. But here is the Ace Hotel, and the leather is a little bit different on the Ace Hotel one. It feels a little bit thicker, feels a little bit, my fingernail just got it. One thing though that is nice about the camel is you can kind of rub out a little bit if you get a little finger scratch in it, like here towards the back. The newer camel doesn't scratch up as much. Like here's my old camel. See how it's a little bit different of a leather. The new camel kind of reminds me of the new blue and the olive. Kind of has this, like, I don't know, this very kind of soft, suede-y sort of a feel without being suede. And see how the inside is very soft as well. That's how it is in my passport. Okay, so here's the new Ace one. Oh. It's kind of soft. You can tell it's it has a bit more conditioning or oil to it. Let's see that compared to my original standard. See? There's just, it doesn't have that same fuzzy, furry nap. Let me hold a second. So when you compare that with my original brown Midori, see how it has this fuzzy nap to it? The camels don't have that at all. So I find that very interesting. So I think the leather has a little bit more oil content in it, and that could have something to do with the dyeing process for the color or the treatment of the oil, of the leather. But here is the Chic Sparrow Earl Grey. Now the Earl Grey is much, much, much thinner than the Midori leather. And mine is a passport, and you'll see it has 2 secretarial pockets. So even the section Here's the part with the pocket. That you can see right there is just barely thicker than the Midori. And that's one thing that I found very intriguing. So from what I remember Jennifer saying in one of her videos when she was announcing the Tea House Collection leathers is that this is basically the same thing as the Mr. Darcy Toffee, except it doesn't have that final process that makes it really shiny that, you know, you think of the Mr. Darcy. You can see it has, like, I haven't used this at all. I got it, I unboxed it for you guys, and then set it aside because it was One Book July, and I was using my tiny little micro here. So, you know, I didn't use it at all. But it's a beautiful, beautiful leather notebook cover. And I just thought, since a few people had asked, I thought I would show you the comparison between a new traveler's notebook in the camel that's never been used and two that have been used quite a bit. This one the most. So you can see it's kind of a good dupe for a Traveler's Company camel. If you like the camel leather but you want 4 elastics, since this only has the one, and say you want some pocket configurations, you know, the Chic Sparrow could be a way for you to go if you want, if you don't want something with this look with the tin clasp and everything. They're both beautiful notebooks. They're both really well made. Mine did have a little wonkiness in the stitching, and it's the first Chic Sparrow that I've ever received that has that. But I think when they look at them, they look at the outside, and the outside looks beautiful. You can see a little something right here, like maybe it, like because the leather's a lot thinner than most Chic Sparrows, and I wonder if it maybe like slipped, because it is a little slippery feeling. Maybe it like slipped in there, but you can see the stitching, like even here around the corner, is kind of wonky. And then here it's real close to the edge. And then I'm not sure what that is. So that's the only Chic Sparrow I've ever received that has stitching like that. But again, from the outside, it looks fine. But I think it's because it's so much thinner than a leather than they're used to having. So maybe the pressure on the foot is different, and it's also a slipperier leather. Even though the Mr. Darcy has that gloss, it's actually a pretty tactile, pretty sticky leather. So there you go, just a quick little video showing how the new Chic Sparrow Earl Grey looks in comparison to the Traveler's Company camel. If you have any questions, leave them down below, and I will link Chic Sparrow and Traveler's Company in the notes. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.